Hello, welcome to section 3 of the Agile Samurai Bootcamp. In this section, we're going to start getting real by breaking down and learning how to gather requirements using the fundamental unit of work on an Agile project, user stories. By learning how to gather requirements as user stories, you'll see how Agile plans are always kept up to date, contain only the latest and greatest information, and avoid one of the greatest wastes our industry has ever known, premature upfront analysis. Let's start looking at how we used to gather requirements and some of the challenges that come with trying to write everything down. The problem with documentation. Heavy documentation as a means of capturing requirements has never really worked on software projects. Customers seldom get what they want, teams seldom build what's needed, and vast amounts of time and energy are spent debating what was written instead of what actually needs to be done. Here's some other problems teams run into when they rely too heavily on documentation for their software requirements. First off, they can't handle change. Documents don't deal with change all that well. You write something down, it quickly gets out of date. You can keep trying to keep the docs up to date, but when working in rapid feedback cycles like you do in software, you're really fighting a losing battle. Your docs go out of date, your developers build the wrong thing, your customers aren't happy. Also, you get what you spec. Traditional project management techniques fight change on projects tooth and nail, and Agile was born largely in response to counter this style of management. When you write something down and freeze the spec, you cut off one of the greatest sources of learning of any creative endeavor, feedback. You get what you spec instead of what your customers need. And all this just builds. You can't have a conversation with a document. You can, but it's going to be tough. So when the spec doesn't answer the team's questions, they have to make assumptions and guess. And because so much innovation and discovery happens when building software, and all that rapid feedback that comes from customers, a lot of the time and energy spent maintaining the docs ends up being completely wasted, as the team realizes they're much better off talking to customers instead of relying on what some analyst or someone wrote 3 months ago.